What's up, everyone? It's Gavin or Tweek.
What's good? What's good? What's good? It's Marcus or Pink.
What's going on? It's Haz or Matt. How was everyone's weekend? That's all I gotta add. We're actually recording on Monday. Y'all have a good weekend or anything good happen? Actually, Marcus, you did for sure. Actually,
Yeah, I did. They found my car. For people who are like, bro, it's my first episode of Tweek Talks. What the heck? Yeah, I got my car stolen. Last Friday the 14th, I think it was. But they found it, and it's not like ruined. Yeah, I was like, bro, this might be totaled. Day one, I was like, we're getting our car back in like 2 days. Day two, I was like, we ain't never getting our car back. This runs over. So cool, they found it, and we just got to pay our little deductible or whatever, and then hey, we get our car back, which is awesome. So
I'm glad.
nice.
I'm glad they found it, bro.
bro, I've never had my car stolen before. Like I've had it like broken into, and like people take stuff out and all that. But like when you like wake up and you like go outside and you expect your car to be there, and you're just like,
Yeah.
wait, what? What happened? Like you don't want to believe it's gone. It's just like
Yeah.
it's yeah, I guess the word's traumatic. Yeah, it's an experience. Anyway.
Nightmare.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, let's go back. Let's kick it back to Haz. Yeah, how's it going?
oh shit,
Oh
bro.
no.
Well, he doesn't really have anything to say this week.
Yeah, kind of a
True,
boring weekend. Nothing really happened that I care about, bro. I had a fucking banner weekend. I really did. And we'll get more into it, but I had a banner. My Friday was great. Parrot Light came over on Friday, which was awesome. Because he's living in Connecticut, so he came to my place, and then we rode together, and we got dinner with Mars. And for the old head out there, yeah, we got KBBQ at Light's favorite place where they recognize him when we sit down, which is hilarious. I never eat KBBQ, but that's what Paris always wants. He got it twice this weekend, actually, so he loves that place. He's got the platinum card at that place. I don't know what it is. So I drove with Light. We met with Mars, and for all the old heads, we met up with Lade, aka Kool-Aid, the GOAT, actual GOAT.
Goated lineup for dinner.
We do it. We try to get together once a year, and then we always say we're gonna make it more frequent, and it's fucking impossible because we're all doing a million things. But yeah, it's always great to catch up with those are like my favorite guys. They really are. I mean, people who brought me up through Smash, taught me the game, and vouch for my commentary and shit like that. So I love those guys. And like they're just great. Like I mean, you guys know, listeners definitely know Mars and Light. I'm sure less of you know Lade, who's maybe the best of all of us for sure. But yeah, so that was a great way to start it. We'll get into the tournaments on Saturday. What a great fucking day that was. Maybe my favorite tournament of all time happened this weekend because I was thinking about it. I'm pretty sure Asimo is my favorite player of all time in Ultimate that I do not know personally. Don't worry, Gavin, you're good. That I don't know personally. So you and Paris and Tyler are all safe. And Riddles and all those guys.
What happens if you get to know him?
Well, then we need to look back. I don't know who would be after. Like, not you guys and not him. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know. Hopefully someday it will happen. Fuck, I meant to change my profile picture back to the one of us. Because I'm holding a Smashy and I want to say now we both won this year, which is great. I forgot to do that shit. I'll do it after this episode. We'll talk about that tournament a lot. That was amazing. That was a great watch. Now, aside from Asimo winning, which to me is like the best. I always watch and I stay up super late / early because here, dude, the last sets were going on. Like top four started like 6:37 in the morning here. I was like, dude, I'm so fucking tired. Like I usually kind of start knocking out when Asimo gets knocked out or when he goes into losers and has some bad matchups. I'm like, all right, I'll go to bed. Wasn't allowed to on Sunday, Saturday, so we'll get into that. The Yankees clinched. They're in the playoffs. Couldn't be happier. I don't know, dude. I had a great fucking weekend. I really did. Everything was good. They clinched a playoff spot. They have not clinched best record in American League yet. Very soon, though, they will.
We watched
playing the Orioles this weekend, Marcus.
We watched some pretty cool sets when we were awake for it. Me personally, I want to shout out Ryuoh. I'm not cutting out, am I?
Good, man. You're locked in. You're leaned in.
All right. So Ryuoh is very good versus Luigi. I think this is the second time in a row he's beaten Raru, and it was a reverse 3-0 this time. Very impressive. I think that matchup can get pretty dicey for Diddy Kong, so I thought he played it fantastic. Me and Haz were both saying like when he gets momentum, when he was getting momentum in those sets, it was really really cool. He played the matchup great. Once he started getting some momentum, and two wins in a row on Ryuoh is pretty good because that's like a top 10 type of player right now. So shouts to Ryuoh, that was one of my favorites. Um, Watching Akakikusu beat Acola in winners was crazy. The ending was pretty hilarious. A down air off the top with no kill screen. Um, we watched that one as well. That was pretty crazy.
That was fun. That was a
B was
fun
out
set.
and she just got back and walked in and saw that, which was pretty crazy. She like loves Dragon Quest, like so. She's a fan, and it's kind of naturally making me a fan too, of like Beast Mode Paul and Akakikusu stuff like that.
We were saying Beast Mode Paul was the best hero on the planet for like a week, and then Akakikusu just gets a win on Acola and gets third place. It's like shit. But it's a
Yeah,
good thing to have two really cool, awesome hero players to watch, so I'm here
yeah.
for it.
I was last week. I was saying that character. I was talking about that character having a lot of value right now. So there's some even more. Yeah, I don't really know. We can get into some other stuff. Obviously, Asimo would be the main topic.
Yeah. Let's go,
Um,
man.
he's just nasty, bro. He's just nasty.
I always said it about him, and he's like the worst nightmare of y'all top players because I feel like there's this stereotype that comes with fighting game player characters in Smash, how they mash, how they're, cheese lords, like all this bullshit that they do. Don't get me wrong, Ashimo's got some of the cleanest conversions in the game, straight up. Like some of the best offense in Ultimate, some of the best hit confirms ever. But he's got fundies, man. He really, really fucking does. Like he's just
Dangerous.
wait. Yes, like putting like it's just ridiculous how good, and we've said it about him before, like how consistent he is in Japan with solo Ryu. Not I play Ryu and sometimes I play Ken and Terry a little bit. I play Kazuya. Solo fucking Ryu wins like a huge tournament. Like what, dude? What the fuck? Like what am I looking at here? And man, the way he won the tournament, jump air dodge through Steve, right? Well, he almost died. The kill screen, like, was it two of them in a row, back to back? The up smash from Steve, just barely not killing Ryu. Lands, he's in a bad spot. Jump air dodge through Steve. Light up tilt, up air, up air. Oh, and it's just, I've talked to Aiken so much about Ryu's up air and how fucking broken that move is and how it's just, I don't want to say his best move, but it's definitely up there. Like it's definitely one of his best moves for sure, which is saying a lot because he has a lot of good moves. It was just pure cinema. Like it truly was. Like that game 5, because bro, Acola in the losers bracket,
Yeah.
man, picking up that momentum, picking up the steam. It's just so hard to stop. And I was like, if he loses the set, not that I lost faith ever, obviously. Never lose faith in Asimo. But it's just, that is the toughest player on the planet to beat right now is Acola when he's on a roll for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean that matchup is not easy. He dropped a couple like jab shoryu he dropped, like which is so unconventional. It's like, and that's the thing about playing these characters in these high tense pressure situations is like you can't drop those because when are you going to get another chance, right? Against Acola, like when is that going to
That
happen?
move is so strong.
Back air, yeah.
It's
Back
disgusting,
air always like is stronger than I expect. Like I'm always like, okay, that might kill, but it always kills.
He always does, especially I love this with Ryu because Ken can't because his fireball sucks, but you can do back air and turn around and Hadouken the other way and combo it because his ghost. It's so cool looking. Like, I don't know.
It does look cool. It does look cool when he does that.
Ashimo exploded onto the scene, in my opinion, at Invitational when he hit that sequence on Cola, if you remember.
Yeah.
So I think, interestingly, because when you think of Ryu and you think of Ken and you think of Kazuya and you think of Terry, out of those characters, if you had to rank them in terms of how cool their offense is, I think most of the people would put Ryu towards the bottom, especially before Ashimo. And then when he came out, Ashimo can cook, though. Like, that's about it. But, like, bro, that's how he won. Like that's my favorite thing is like the thing that he first was known about was his offense and how he hits these crazy conversions. Killing Acola or knocking him out in that way is just it was insanity, bro. Like it was perfect. Like there's so much like the way I love how he focused attack the wall too. Focus attack backdash against the three stack
Yeah.
Steve wall. Like he just I think it just really to me shows like how solo maining a character is going to have a ton of pain points and be really really difficult. But I've never seen him pop off like that either. Did you? The other thing too, I know I'm all over the damn place, but come on now.
He looks exhausted.
Yes, yeah, he doesn't show that much emotion either. He's always kind of like just chill, and that was great.
A little bit, but nothing crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good pop up for him. And then, did you guys know? Did you see the Hungry clicker art?
Yes,
No.
I learned about this because of that too.
I
B
didn't
gave
know
me a
that.
whole explanation because she was figuring it out too. That when he streams, he uses a pigeon VTuber, and then Hungry Clicker made art of a pigeon with Ryu's headband for the victory. So
That's kind of
yeah,
raw.
I
It
learned a
is.
lot. I learned a lot over the last day or two. Um, but yeah, the wall stuff you were mentioning was cool. Like the proxy jabs, the focuses, the down smashes, and he was just getting really aggressive with it too. As soon as he would break that second or bottom block, he was immediately sending a fireball, whatever. Um, and yeah, it's definitely inspirational. It kind of reminds me of like what I was talking about with Ryuoh versus Raru as well, with just like they're playing against these characters that are so dangerous, but I feel like they're finding their aggression and they're finding where they can be confident without risking too much, which is definitely interesting. And I'm trying to take note of that just for a general thing, not even necessarily for like fighting those characters. Um, yeah, there was just some awesome stuff. Like and like I said, like I just I think whether you like it or not, you got to get used to seeing Hero too. I think most people think Hero's fine. Like there's some cheesy stuff, but I think he's kind of rounded out as like a pretty interesting character. Um, and I'm just really coming to appreciate Hero too. Not even just like a little bit before this tournament, but he's just a meta character. I think he's just a meta character at this point.
Bro, one of the things I was saying recently was if I pulled up to a tournament, like a really large tournament, and they told me my next opponent played Hero, I would start freaking out immediately. Because I'm like, one, they put some hours into this dude. Like, all the Hero
Right.
players who play Hero, they've played Hero since the
Yeah,
beginning.
you gotta. I feel like.
And now, like, they have top reps that they can look at and take inspiration from, and like you kind of know what to expect with Hero, but at the same time that makes it even more dangerous where it's like, oh, they have psych up, I have to avoid and then the list just loads in. It's
Yeah,
flame slash, I can't get dash attacked, I can't get F smashed, I can't get, I mean, if they hit my shield already, I can't get back here, like I can't, there's all these like things just loading to my head, and then it's like, oh well, do they have accelerate too? And then do I engage with that, or do I like try not to engage and then they get accelerated and it's like, oh no, like, or if like you have like projectiles and stuff, it's like you want to play your zoner game plan, but then do you let them get bounced? Like
yes,
there's so
dude,
many
it's
different
so hard.
things
The
to
questions you have to ask
navigate.
yourself immediately because like do
Hmm.
you fight or do you let them buff like you're always picking a poison versus hero if they're playing well, I think, which is super interesting from the hero's perspective. Like you can just start getting a crazy advantage just from 3 2 1 go. Like as a Diddy Kong player when I'm playing, I have to question like should I even pull banana at the start because he's going to get a buff and I like is that worth it? Like or if he gets bounced, was it worth it? Like
Right.
so I like matchups like that are very stressful because usually like I'm not asking myself that many questions at 3 2 1 go. So yeah, it's crazy. I definitely want to because even when I play Sephiroth, it feels like the same thing. Like Marcus was just saying, like you really got to pick your poison.
Yeah. I think we saw that too, Gavin, because we were watching, Hero against Steve, right?
Yeah, it's
Akakikusu
a
again.
classic one. Like I feel like it's one of the easiest examples of what we're talking about.
It's like an arms race. Like I'm gonna get fully buffed up. I'm Christmas colors, Celerado, all the shit that kills you one hit with Hero. But the thing that was like, this is the conventional wisdom, right? Hero can do pretty well against Steve because Accelerado is great. You can intercept minecart, get the jump, all that shit. Zoom is good, obviously, always going to be good. Is always broken. The range that Hero has is great, especially side B and his aerials and all that shit. It's good against Steve. And then obviously, if Steve's mining, you could sit there and you could farm up your buffs. But the thing I was seeing when they were playing is like Steve, his mining, that shit lasts forever. He's got until he uses those materials. He has those between stocks, between hits, everything. Like he just keeps them forever. And Hero, if you don't get the right hit or if you don't get anything out of the Accelerado, it's just gone. Like it's just gone. And then Steve can go back and can just mine again. So what I was seeing, at least, I appreciate like that idea that Hero can like buff himself up and get stronger to fight Steve. But it just feels like Steve's kind of Heroes is like a sprint, it feels like, and Steve's is like a marathon runner where he just like he's ready to keep going. Like, yep, all right, you hit me, you got your nice couple hits. Unless you killed me, I don't really care. And even if you did, I still have all this material that's going to affect the entirety of the match, right? What I'm saying is Steve guaranteed gets stuff that's going to help him no matter what. Hero buffs himself up. If he doesn't make anything of him, he just lets Steve get everything that he still has. And that's just something I kind of noticed.
I like what you're explaining. It feels like Steve specifically makes it feel like more of a sprint, where in a lot of normal matchups, it might feel more like an actual bonus. Whereas versus Steve, like if their defense is that strong, it might feel a little bit more negligible. Also, it kind of reminds me of like when Hero's getting overwhelmed by aggression rather than camping, because like if Fox is beating your ass, it starts to feel like the opportunities become a bit more desperate for Hero. Like when he gets them, he wants to make the most of them. But for Steve, it's like the opposite. Well, but it's still like a similar feeling, I think. So yeah, Hero definitely has to balance out like getting rid of threatening the mine, getting rid of the walls, like using side B, using traditional sword moves, using the Accelerado to threaten those things I just listed. Like, it's a really good point from Haz for sure. And also, like we were mentioning, like how difficult it is to like. I feel like this has happened so many times where it's like everyone's so excited at the upset, like Acola loss and winners, and then he just runs it all the way through it, and that's definitely deserves props because he just fights his way through that bracket. Like he got his run back 3-1. Like I didn't watch it live, but from what Chris was just showing on the screen, it looked pretty solid for Acola. And he was down 2-0 in grand finals versus Asimo. Almost wins 3 straight games. Like it's literally like some boss battle phase 3, phase 2 type stuff. Like you really gotta. I mean, it's like Haz said. Like from Haz's perspective, as someone cheering for Ashimo, like it's a very crazy moment when Ashimo actually finished the job because Aquila is not going to make it easy, and at some points it looks like it's impossible too. So.
Well, it's just Steve in that. I don't know how many characters are better than Steve in the last hit scenario either. Ryu is certainly not one of them. Like the way Ryu needs to hit Steve and then get a confirm out of it, and it needs to be the right hit, and you need to actually nail the hit confirm like he did with the double up tilt up air. And it's like Steve. Here comes. It's almost like Cloud in a way, where it's like here comes the back airs, right? Here comes Anvil. But even more. Here comes the Home Alone traps, right? Coming through.
Yeah.
Minecart. Anvil, everything. It's just like bro just spawns win conditions, which is insane. And then you have humble Ryu trying to make his way in and get the KO.
Steve has all that and a grab that kills. Like
depending on which character you play, two grabs that can kill depending on what character you play.
Sometimes F throw is like just checkmate.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
F
that angle is nasty. Or the back throw into the block, which isn't gonna happen as often. Like it's usually the back throw on the block, as silly as it is, it's definitely on the opponent.
Player error. Yep.
Yeah. But
wait, speaking of blocks, can we talk about and up throws? Can we talk about Ashimo? That up throw, by the way, I didn't know that. I'll keep it a buck. I knew Ryu's and probably Ken's their throws have weird properties on hit because in doubles. I've seen Ryu's down throw just break a shield. I don't know if you guys all knew that one. But that up throw,
Yes,
the
I knew
second
that.
hip, what the fuck? Like, I knew it was strong, but not like that.
I see
That
it in
was
doubles, and I knew about it, but there's really not many scenarios where it comes up in competitive singles. Um, it was so funny when it happened because it looked like both players just kept it moving. Like no one was like it was just a like grand final, so like they didn't have like no one has time to talk about that. It's like yeah, just keep it moving. Last stock, grand finals, but like yeah, that was the first time I've seen it come up in singles, and it was such a crucial kill because I think it evened up the game. Like you're not going to get an easy kill off of Steve. Like the fact that that Ryuoh was able to kill at 140 with a grab like that really put him back in the game. I actually think Acola won that game, but um, yeah, it's crazy. I just haven't seen that come up in singles. Like I knew about it, so I guess Ken's down throw and up throw do the same thing in doubles.
I think so. Yeah. The other thing is you
At
don't see
least
those characters.
comparable. Yeah.
I think two things. Ultimate doubles, people don't care about it as much. The other thing, those characters in doubles, people don't play them as much because the auto turnaround kind of adjustment you need to
They're very
make.
different. Ken's back throw is fully invincible, and like it only comes up in doubles, really. But during that whole animation where he's spinning with the other character, he's invincible the whole time.
You know the name of that throw? What they call it?
No,
The Hell Wheel. Hell Wheel.
the
It's such like
invincible
a
hell wheel. That was at 125 actually.
dude.
He
And
he
no
died at
raid.
154.
But, like,
It looked like
He
It's like
knows to do that.
Yeah,
Like
of course.
like character mastery, bro. Like stuff like that makes me so happy.
yeah.
Where it's like any, maybe not any, but I feel like most Ryus would see that situation and do back throw. They'd be like, all right, off stage. Bro said, this is a stock.
Right, because you might be afraid, like if you up throw, maybe Steve gets something out of it, and you're in the minecart or some shit. Like maybe he attacks her, I don't know, dude,
Was
or
it a
slides
true
in a weird
combo
way. Yeah.
though? Like, did Acola miss the tech type of thing? Like, was it like was there
I mean,
anything?
it could have been at the
It
back
might
throw
be
F
active
smash
enough where it beats the
situation.
tech.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
it
see.
might have just been checkmate.
It was also he spot dodged.
There was no tech. There was no tech.
Well, bro, can he tech it?
I don't think it
he's
matters.
flying
I
a
don't think it
million miles an
matters.
hour.
You think
Really?
it matters?
I don't think it matters. No.
Oh, okay. I don't think so. I think that was checkmate.
You're saying the leg kick from the up throw is so active it would catch a neutral
Yeah.
tech?
I don't
Okay,
know if
got it.
like I know
Or
Steve
dual
has
tech.
quick moves, but I think they might get hit regardless.
I think that's it, dude. He's so tall. His hurt box is still
The
like right
kick
there.
is really
Yeah.
quick. I wonder if the invincibility from the tech would win.
Nah, that shit was true. Goat knows. Goat knows. Come on.
Even if it
That's a-
isn't, he probably just jabs.
I mean, you still go
afterwards.
for that every time, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah.
You still go for that.
He probably texts and gets jabbed. See ya. This is the same thing.
Dude, at that situation, I was thinking that like there's a situation where Steve kills Ryu for doing that. If it isn't as like
Yo, maybe
if it isn't as tight as it looks, yeah.
You're talking about Meister? Hold up now. Oh, hold on.
He had a
was
very impressive trip to Japan, in my opinion.
He did. Yeah, I agree.
He gate kept hurt plenty of times.
Crazy.
Yeah, he beat hurt like 2 or 3 times, I think.
Threw him on Sunday too.
Yeah,
very clean.
definitely gonna come back stronger than ever, I think.
He lost to Raru before, so I think that was a run back. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he got 4th.
Yes.
Losing to Acola twice.
Was this one a S plus or P tier?
That is a good question. I'm gonna assume it's a P tier. Like
That's crazy. Either way, it was a big
Let me see.
tournament. So
It was an awesome
really good job.
tournament. That's GOAT right there. He played amazing. Yeah, dude. It was just they had 3 streams. I think it was 4 actually. And it was just I love when they do like it's like quad streaming, but they're all their own unique streams, which is cool. I know that's more setup and whatever.
Yeah.
It's 4 streams, which is harder to do, but fuck, I love that, dude. That was one of my favorite tournaments I've ever watched, period, in my time in Smash. Not even Ultimate or anything. It was I had so much fucking fun.
it wasn't
every
even
set.
close to a P tier. Not even close.
Well,
It was barely an S tier.
Oh, it was S tier.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah.
It's pretty close to a P
The
tier.
vibes of it made it look like it
Mm.
was a big tournament, but not the biggest tournament.
They
So
should bump it up because Asimo won. They should be
It's
like, you know what? Actually,
4,000 points away from being a P tier.
what does that
okay,
mean though?
yeah.
An S tier is
All I know is that
5,000
far.
points.
And a P tier is 9,000 then.
Mm.
How many points is Gavin worth? Put him in a bracket.
7 million
I
points.
don't remember, man. It's somewhere.
Oh, sorry. I thought you had the form up and you were
No, it's
looking at
I
it.
do have the form, but I don't. Oh, player values. Here we go. Gavin is 350.
Dang. You need a
The
couple Gavins
highest
to go over.
value is 350.
Oh,
The top 5, top 10?
Yes, top 5.
that's pretty.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
W. Gotta get you to wavelength.
So are
Come on,
all
man.
my locals like if I go to a local tournament, does it become a?
I don't think they count locals.
Oh, okay.
I'm not 100% sure on that.
Imagine
What does that mean though? We're asking the
I
real
can just
questions.
make
now.
any tournament
I can't
count for
remember
rankings.
because there was I remember there being like a huge debate about if locals after
They
like
definitely counted
super
last time.
majors, when like if like a major was like a Genesis happened and people went to whatever locals afterward, if they counted or not. I don't remember what the outcome
My
was.
locals definitely counted last season.
I feel kind of dumb for saying it, but I feel like if players are there and they're playing their hardest, it should probably count in some way for the rankings. That's my simple opinion about it. Is that fair? Like invitationals, check. Locals, if they're playing mains and shit, check. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
I feel like it becomes a little
It
strange in
starts
terms of like
getting
it's
yeah.
all kind of like made up,
Yep.
it is.
like the effort involved or like what quality of it feels very like just made up by people. Like it's just
Yeah.
not.
Some of it makes sense though. Like if there's more entrants in a tournament, getting a good win is kind of better because you have to work harder to get there. Probably, maybe not necessarily. Like if someone gets underseeded and they play hurt round 1 and they beat him or some shit, it's like they didn't work harder. How is that any better than beating him at a local or something? Is the implication that people try harder at majors or something?
That's a weird thing
Yes.
to like add to a ranking because it's
Okay.
completely made up
Yep.
by people.
I like conversations like this, though. I like talking about this shit because it is very interesting.
It
'Cause I'm just
reminds
like,
me of the conversation of, dude, I go into rants on my Twitch stream over stuff like this.
okay,
Someone will come into my chat and be like, "Hey, I'm new to the game. Should I
Uh-oh.
like what character should I play? Like someone told me to play this character." And I'll always be like, "Play who you want and that's it." Like the whole Mario teaches you fundamentals or Lucina teaches you that is all made up. It's not real. It's just not real. Like these are all made up by people. All these like rules of Smash. Like it's just not. It doesn't exist. Pit doesn't teach you the game better than anyone else. Like you just play who you want.
definitely doesn't. That character sucks.
No, he's all right. He's good. He's
Whoa,
good.
that's pretty good.
He's all right.
He's
That's pretty
nice.
good.
I think Pit
He's
is
all
good.
right. Good is a crazy word.
But yeah,
Anyway.
I'm always going into those rants because I feel like it just adds weird labels and weird limits to like weird ceilings to people. Like these preconceived ideas just aren't necessary to a new player at all, in my opinion. That's all. Small
telling
rant.
me-
That's a little
Bro,
off topic.
I used to get mad, especially in Smash 4, because that question would come up a lot when people would be like, bro, just play Marth or just play Mario. And I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, do you understand that Mario as a character is doing combos from down tilt, up tilt, down throw that like most characters don't have access to? So your brain starts to become wired to look for these close engagements. If you say that and then you say Lucina teaches the same thing that Mario does, it's like, no, she doesn't. Like
Yeah.
like her out of shield game is different. You play a lot more defensively. You have a disjoint that some characters aren't used to. You have to figure out how to play without a reflector. Mario has a reflector. He also has a projectile. Like there's so many different things you have to learn when you're playing the game. And when people are like, bro, just play this character, they're fundies. I'm like, I mean, sure, like but like that's not the character isn't gonna help you learn the fundamentals of the game.
Yeah.
Like the fundamentals of the game are the fundamentals of the game. You can learn them with any character. I do think that like there are characters that can skip a lot of fundamentals of the game, and that's why some people say like some characters are more fundies than others. But like I don't know, man. Like Mario's a cornball. Like yeah, Mario's fundies
Yeah.
until he hits you with back air grab and you die, nair grab you die. Like
Back
oh,
airs the whole game. -2, -2, -2, -2. Oh, I hit you. Time to die.
like
Um,
okay,
I
sure.
I think
it's
it's
not even about
interesting.
that, but it's it just I feel like it genuinely makes the new player's experience more convoluted than it would be if they didn't look at the internet at all while playing Smash. Like it's just like I said, it's all made up and it's just pointless. Like they'll be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna play Mario and Lucina, and then 3 months from now, when I learn the proper fundamentals, I'm gonna pick my favorite character." It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like,
I That's so interesting because I usually feel like people like, do you guys hear that a lot, that people don't know what character to play as? I feel like that's
Yes.
not
I
really.
well,
Yes.
there's so many.
That's so
There's so many
interesting.
options.
Dude,
I know, but I feel like that's the number one thing that brings you to Smash. I
Well,
wanna play as
but
Snake,
there's
like,
so
there is
many
whatever.
occasional people
characters.
that get in just because they want to be competitive. Like they
Yeah,
get into it and they just want to start going to tournaments and they're
man.
looking for advice. And like I get it. Like I'm definitely here to help people when I'm streaming. Like I like answering questions. Like, but like I hate all this like made up labels that like they're just a waste of time.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I just think it's interesting because that's like, to me, one of the lower priority questions that people might have. But I guess it depends on, because they might view you guys as like, oh, you're a top player. Tell me who should I pick to win, or like some shit like
It's
that,
weird
or
because
like interesting.
they're basically asking for like a right and wrong to a question that doesn't have a right or wrong answer, in sense of like they want to know like what's morally cool and like what's
Oh,
considered
I see.
cringe and like what like because fundamentals are looked at as like skill like above all else or something, and like so any character that's fundamental they think they're doing it the right way and they're learning the game the right way, whatever. And it's just it's all made up, and it's just play who you want to play, and it'll help you much more than putting all this effort into, because a lot of the time all of this effort is like you're not even playing the game, like arguing over matchup spreads and what characters are cool and lame and what characters are fundamentally sound or not, and like you could just play the game instead.
It's interesting too, because I feel like there are a lot of characters that, like, there's obviously agreed upon kind of lame quote unquote characters, or kind of cool quote unquote characters, but
Yeah,
not like, I'm hyped. Ryu just won a super major or an S tier or whatever we're gonna call it. Great. Some people might fucking hate Ryu and be like, dude, no, that is not fundies. He has auto turnaround. He's bullshit. Like all this stuff. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I don't know. That's so interesting, man, because I feel like with Smash, it's so easy to get into because the choice of who you want to play is fucking kind of easy. Like, you just, this is it. Like, this is cool. Like, this is who I like. But I guess if people think about the what you're saying, that's a whole different question. I
well,
don't know, man. That's
well,
interesting.
you gotta look at it like, okay, so think about how we even like started the episode, right? We're like talking about Ryu and Ashimo, and then we're like, that dude has fundies. Like, it's not the character that has the fundamentals; it's the player.
It's true. That's
And
true.
I think I think that's something that people are missing a lot of times. Like, if and people don't even like, if you ask someone like, what are fundies? 9 times out of 10, they're either one, not gonna have an answer, or two, they're gonna have a different answer than the next
yeah.
person you ask. What are fundies? Like,
When you say like it kind of just stops
Well,
and starts there a lot of the time. Like it's just like it like for us three, it's just coming from three people that have been around for a while, have a lot of experience, and it's just like a small eye test. Like it starts and ends there. It's not a big deal. It's just
let's
not a big deal.
let's settle it right now. What are fundies? Come on, we got
bro,
a platform.
we're not gonna be
It's
Come on,
able
just
to.
Marcus.
it's simply just an eye test, and you either got it or you don't. That's
Yeah,
all I'm
Oh,
like
gonna say.
the best way, like if we were to put like a label to it or like words to it, but see, I don't want to do that because then people are gonna like take it for what it is. But
that's true.
I guess like the best way is like there are parts of the game that like are gonna happen no matter what, right? That are like fundamental to the way that the game works,
Yeah.
and you like players. just need to be able to know that. So like ledge trapping, how to get off the ledge. And that happens almost in every match, but there are characters that don't deal with that.
It
So then you
might
have to
happen
learn the other
less with
part.
some
Yeah,
characters. Yeah.
right. Potentially edge guarding, like juggling, like how do you position yourself in neutral? Um, how good is your spacing on some moves on shield, stuff like that. Because sometimes like moves are simply safe because of the distance between you and your opponent after they hit the shield. Like the frame data wise, they aren't safe, but the spacing makes it safe. So things like that. I wouldn't say like pressing forward air and neutral air and down tilt on Lucina over and over again makes you a fundamental player. Like I would not
I,
say that.
I think like one word that I think of a lot with fundies is like precision is something that comes to mind because I think of like the opposite, like what's not fundies, and mashing is not fundies, right? Like mashing, we all agree, like mashing buttons, not fundies, not
I don't.
fundies.
I can't say that. I can't say that because I
It's
think
hard for me to come up with an answer. The first thing that comes to mind for me
Oh
is
shit, we're in it
their
now.
gameplay is very like natural and nothing is like forced, whether it's offensive or defensive. Like it looks like they're very prepared for things and they're not like forcing their game plan on you. Like something that Leo said like around a year ago, maybe a little less than a year ago to me in a conversation that really stuck out was something he likes is when two game plans look like they're combining with each other when two people are fighting rather than two game plans are clashing. And I thought that was very interesting because he was saying like that's a reason why he thinks Ultimate is a little like not great sometimes is because a lot of the time it's like clashing rather than like combining and like flowing. And like we would have to get into more specifics about what that means, but that's the first thing that comes to mind. Like the like someone with strong fundamentals, it looks like things flow naturally. Like Marcus said, the universal phases of Smash being comfortable for them is definitely huge. And I just no brute force, like nothing too ugly, like not double button into spot dodge or their main approach is like a roll in or their risk reward is all out of whack. Like it has to look very clean, very, natural, not brute force. Like that's the first things that come to mind for me.
yeah, I don't know. It's like I just think about if somebody is playing like Fox or they're playing Roy and they are just like down tilt your shield and then they do jab or something like that, or they do forward air down tilt, or they do like you know what I mean, like they like do moves back to back. They're mashing,
Yeah.
but it's like if it's intentional, like all right, I do forward air down tilt, and then next time they do forward air and they like wait and see what happens, or like they do down tilt and they wait and see what happens. Like a lot of times they are mashing, but they have the experience and like to know like, oh, in this tempo I break it here, and like this is where I start to look for a defensive option or something like that,
I,
or this is where like I'm so plus on shield, I'm just gonna press one more time. So maybe I do like forward air down tilt, and because I think Roy's down tilt's like -4 or something like that, they're like, well, I'm really plus, like I can press one more and just kind of see like how they're feeling about how many times like I'm hitting their shield. Like I don't know, and I think the same thing with like very defensive characters, like when Pac-Man or like Min Min is sitting across the stage, like just throwing stuff at you. Like as long as they're doing it with like intention and like navigating the way that the opponent is playing around it, especially Snake, like you can see it very clearly with like Hurt, right? Like the way he places his grenades and throws his grenades, he's trying to force you to do something or be in a certain area. You see him all the time. He'll like throw a few grenades. He'll inch his way toward you. You jump. You double jump to like avoid something else, and then he just catches your landing with a dash attack. Like it's very intentional and deliberate. But there are other players who are just throwing the grenade because they're like, "Bro, snake grenade is crazy," and they don't understand like what could potentially happen with the counterplay if the other opponent is aware of it.
I think that's the difference between mashing. It feels like to me the implication is there's no intention behind it other than I will press this button because it's fast/good. Like there's no I'm going to hit it at a different rhythm. I'm going to look for patterns. I'm going to do this. I'm just going to mash. I'm going to hit A because it's a strong option. So like there's a huge difference between, again, this comes down to player character differences. You can play a mashy character, but you're not going to get far if you don't have fundies and people have counterplay to your good mash. You need to be able to bring it to the next level, right?
For
Like that's
me,
something.
my potential association with something like that not being fundamentally sound would be because that player is trying to force a specific phase of the game specifically. And they are clearly desperate to get to that phase of the game when they're outside of it. Like, it's not necessarily the
Interesting.
buttons they're choosing or how many buttons they're pressing. It's more so that when they're not in that phase of the game, they clearly aren't comfortable and they're just forcing the next phase. Like when like Luigi's an easy example, unfortunately. Sorry, Luigi. But if a Luigi player is just rolling into you constantly, they're not strong fundamentally because they're clearly uncomfortable in that phase of the game, and they just want to get to the phase where they are threatening a kill. Like that's the best example I can think of for what Haz is talking about. But yeah, at the end of the day, I just feel like the whole fundamental thing, it's just an eye test for like experienced players to be like, that player's nice. Like
Yeah.
it,
I will say it is
it's
also
not
kind
a
of a
big deal.
feel. I think it's kind of like a feel thing too. Like
Yeah,
you got it or you don't. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
you got fundies or you don't.
Yeah, I mean, you can gain fundies, but
You
like,
can
there's
get
just like it's just a certain
True.
vibe, like, and I think it tends to get weird because a lot of other people will see people using these phrases, and they'll just start throwing them out there or attaching them to characters without like much else beyond that, and it just like a lot of stereotypes start to exist, and players start to think that they have to do the certain things to learn the game, and I think that's where it gets really strange. But yeah, it's like I don't know. At the end of the day, like I said, for me, it's just I'm watching a player, and it's just a compliment. That's it. That's all it is. Well,
fundies. Team
fundies,
Fundies.
fundies.
That's
Yeah,
it.
fundies.
Fundies. Fundies are
Shout to
fundies are
Tums.
fundies are fundies. That's it. We're locking it in.
One of the
You know or you
best
don't.
terms ever made. Shouts to Tums.
Tums, dude. I think of him every time. Goat.
Fundies, fundies.
Cavalier Clash. We watched a bit of that as well. Your region again, man. Shouts to Syrup taking it through
My
loser.
region is just really good.
that
And
Simple
dude's
as that.
Phantom.
consistent.
He is consistent. That is a great word for Syrup.
Yeah.
And
He's getting
Phantom,
very consistent.
He
Gavin.
wins. He wins.
You know Phantom, right? Third place.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. What? Steve? DK?
Zamba not doing too well was genuinely freaked me out. When I checked the bracket and saw
Yeah.
I think I wasn't I was looking for the bracket because I heard he got 7th, and the first thing I thought was he didn't go Rob. Like that's just it's a compliment to Zamba, right? Like I just at that tournament I would have expected nothing less than 2nd. So yeah, that's crazy. Jazzo getting the win over Zamba is impressive. Where's that Sonic at?
I know.
That
Bro,
was crazy.
he went game 5 against Syrup though with Ken. Ken Steve the whole
And
time.
then Ryu doing well versus Acola.
Dude,
What a good weekend for Haz.
yeah.
Not for
I
Ashimo and
really
Jazzo.
did. This
Just
weekend was
for
about me. Yeah, exactly. I truly was. This is like as far as Smash weekends have gone, man. Holy shit! I was.
This is like when
Feeling
Light
it.
won SmashCon for a Chuck. Bro was over the moon. I remember that. He was just, bro, Light
Speaking
won.
of-
He did it.
Speaking of SmashCon, something I realized while we were talking about it is that Asimo is going to be at the Luminosity Invitational this weekend because he qualified.
Right off
I
the
know,
W.
dude.
Right off the W.
Fucking
That's
W,
pretty
dude.
cool.
Maybe
That's a good point.
it's good for him because maybe we can become friends now. And then I need to find a new favorite top player that's not my friend. Yeah, that is great. And then Zap obviously qualified too, but the lineup is really, really good. And I'll be there. I don't know if this has been announced yet. There's a few days to the event, so I'm gonna say it. So
Yeah.
Spargo, I'm casting with a lot of the usual suspects you guys will recognize, but you got Spargo, Shuton, Tweek, Shiny Mark, Gluto, Meister, Cola,
Scratch.
Sonic, Shattuck, Light, Zomba, MK Leo, Mars, Debuzz, and then Ashimo and Zap.
Some Smash
That
Bros. Some
Qualifiers.
Smash Bros.
It's a good lineup.
that hey, if y'all
There's
watch
some
our
cool
Patreon
storylines,
episode,
too.
honestly, that's not a bad lineup. Like,
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, we need to do Patreon today too. By the way, Tweek talks on Patreon.
I'm probably
was
just
that
gonna do VOD review. It's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
was last week? Was last week when we did our own? We
Yes.
created our own
most recent
invitational.
thing. Our most recent thing was
It was fun.
players we would invite to our invitational we're hosting. Just a fun little idea. But yeah, back to the Luminosity one.
That is a
There's some
banger
cool
event.
storylines there. Meister, first tournament back from Japan. Hurt is Ashimo is fresh off the W. There's
Acola
some cool
hasn't
stuff
won an
there for
event.
sure. And some players we haven't seen in a while in NA, like Gluto. Some cool stuff for sure.
Dude.
And Gluto actually had a rough
Shattuck
tournament.
won the previous one, and he's there. Stuff like that.
Yeah, Gluto kind of
Goodness.
coming in off a tough tournament. What's up, Mark?
Oh yeah, there's
Gluto
some
did win the other one not too long
Yeah.
ago, though.
Yeah.
like Sonics versus Shuton run back.
True.
Spargo winning
Sonic wants it, bro. I love that shit.
Yeah,
I love
that's-
his Twitter beefs. They're so
Spargo
funny.
for-
forgetting
so
how to
funny.
lose for sure.
Yeah, Spargo forgetting how to lose, but the last person he lost to is at the event, being Acola. Acola hasn't won anything
Wait,
as far as I'm aware of.
It's not Acola. It's Cola.
Oh, I thought you said Acola.
Cola.
Oh yeah, Acola's not going.
No,
I was
Acola,
like,
no.
bro, this is
Sorry.
I'm
I
hoping to
was
play
like,
Spargo. It's
this is
been
crazy.
too long.
When's the last time y'all played? Was it Terra?
Isn't it like Terra?
I think so.
Well, you know what happened at Terra. Couple
No, I
big
don't
things.
actually. Fill me in.
Oh, well, there was this one moment when you were playing against Spargo, actually. And there was some good commentary. Award-winning commentary actually
Yeah.
occurred over in
Let's
Paris.
just fast forward to the trophy.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Actually, gotta change my profile picture. True, thanks. I'm doing it now.
I guess that about does it. I actually really enjoyed this episode today. Thanks, y'all.
I like when it just becomes a conversation. Like this happens all the time with us, like before and after the call.
Yeah.
So I like when this happens.
But yeah, we did mention Patreon not too long ago. We've been doing a bit of a mix between my personal VOD review and our usual stuff. Thanks for supporting it as always. If you're interested, feel free to check it out. Patreon.com/tweaktalks. Our next upload will probably just be more VOD review as I prepare for the Luminosity Smash Invitational. But yeah, thank you so much. Hope everyone has a good day. Thanks for supporting as always.
See you.